All right. So yesterday didn't go so great. Bitrate issues. Something going on with my home network. I think we're good now. OBS is giving me a nice, pretty green light. That seems good. We're gonna give it a second and kind of make sure before we really get going. I want to make sure that nothing's going screwy, you know? We're just gonna give it a second, make sure that the network's gonna be good, and then we'll actually start. Just a little worried, you know? I think I've got good reason. I think we're okay. It's still green. This is about as much as was showing up last time, but we're good now. All right. We're gonna start. We're gonna actually start now. We're gonna just cross our fingers that everything's okay. Oops. All right, so today's task, today's mission. We got a blank slate class here. We're gonna work on audio handling. I really need to come up with a better cache breaking system here someday. All right, audio handler. What are we gonna do here? So I've got a handful of sound effects that I whipped up in Beatbox and music, also Beatbox. Hey, Cosmic. Oh no, it's very simple stuff. Trust me, it's very straightforward. Maybe before we get going on the actual audio handler, we should look at what we've actually got so far. Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just dive into the programming. Alright, I'm gonna pull it up here. So this is a slight upgrade from what we previously had going. Alright. Here we go. Okay. So this is our game here so far. Go full screen here, really take up that screen space. Okay. So, the general idea of the game is you can't move with WASD. You have to fire your weapon, which currently that's just a bunch of little spheres coming out. That's pretty much it. And then you've got enemies that occasionally spawn on platforms as you go, which I think these take 3 hits. You can hit them with multiple pellets if your aim is good. And then you get loot. You buy better weapons, upgrade your existing weapons. Very simple stuff. And then you get to the end of the level and proceed to another randomly generated level until you get to the boss. And then you fight the boss and rinse, repeat. There'll probably be more to the game at some point, but that's the main game loop is fight robots, manage resources of unlimited ammunition, but limited number of shots before you have to reload. And reloading is much faster if you're on the ground. For instance, if I jump into the air, you can kind of see the difference there. The purple bar is the reloading. Yeah, so that's pretty much the game. But right now it doesn't play any audio. No sound effects, no music. We've got some music, we've got some sound effects. We just need to actually make them do things. So let's make that happen. Doop doop. While this nice Mario Paint music plays. All right, So we're looking into HTML5 Web Audio API. So what this is a whole system of tools that every major browser supports. And since this is a browser game, that's perfect. We don't have to worry about, you know, whether they're running Chrome or Firefox. As long as it's not something like IE10, we should be fine. So let's see here. Let's stub out some functions first off. We will have a function for, we want to set background music, I guess. How are we gonna call this stuff? Like, when we're actually in our code elsewhere and we're trying to say, hey, I want to set the music to something, what's the call gonna look like for that? So we're gonna have audio handler equals new audio handler. Hey, casual. Just in time. Trying to figure out exactly what the structure is going to look like for this. We want to be able to set our background music. We want to be able to play a sound effect. So I don't really want those to be the same thing. Domino's, huh? Domino's pizza? It's okay. It's alright. I used to eat a lot of it back in high school. What toppings did you get? Okay, so I guess we need to actually have our audio files available. So to do that, audio source. Let's get the shop music loaded up. Let's make sure I'm doing this right, because I do not work a lot with the audio tag. Okay, it is source. I don't know if I need the type, but we'll see. Ham and pineapple? I'm not gonna judge, man. Casual, behold, Rover himself has appeared. And Rover, the sidebar has been completed over the last week, including ammo counters, reload meters, and damage indication in the little portrait whenever I take damage. Boom. Little flashing red. And the screen shake for Rover when he's hit. Which doesn't only happen when you take damage, it also happens if you just like accelerate or decelerate quickly. Holy crap. Where's my audio element? It should be in this audio container right here. Huh. There's the game container. Oh, is it because this is display flex or something? No? Okay, I don't know why. But for some reason, this just doesn't show up. Well, let's just... Does it... Hang on. Does the audio element by default need to be... Does it get displayed? Oh, you have to have the controls attribute for it to show up, I assume? There it is. Okay, yeah, and then it gets automatically displayed. Okay. All right, well, let's make sure that works. This volume's probably going to be super high, so let's bring it down. Now, we could just have these elements hidden on the page somewhere and just manage it that way. And that would work, and that would be very easy to do. But what I want to do is I specifically want to use Web Audio API for something called the music. It's Mario Paint music. It's called Monkey Song. Why not? It's good. Mario Paint music is so good. So, raise your hand if you know what a low-pass filter is. And I will slowly explain why we're going to want to add one. The short answer is because it's cool. So, what we need is like the basic... I need like the most bare bones web audio example. Give me some example code. Just give me some super basic example code. Okay. So in any music, actually, you know what? Can we do this with Audacity? Does Audacity do this? I'm gonna open up Audacity and we're gonna see if we can actually import audio from Moonrover, content, audio, music, shop music. All right, so check it out. I think Audacity has a low pass filter. I assume it does. So here's what this, let's bring the volume down. Oh wait, that's playback speed. Where's the volume? Over here. All right, so that's what the volume sounds like normally. Oh well, goodbye, casual. You're gonna miss out on the explanation of what a low pass filter is, but that's okay. You can look it up. It's okay. I don't mind. Let's see. We want to have a low pass filter. Where would that be? Audacity low pass filter. To do that, effect low pass filter. Did I just miss it? Oh, there it is. Low pass filter. Perfect. All right, sounds good, casual. I have no idea what an appropriate number is, so I'm going to try 1,000. All right, let's see if that worked. So somewhere around in here is where it's going to change. All right, get ready. Get ready for the low pass filter. There it is. All right, it's going to bring it back. Right there. All right, so that was kind of a wimpy one. Let's go crazy on this. Let's go for, I don't know, 800. Is that reasonable? There we go. So it sounds muffled, right? It sounds kind of weirdly muffled. So what it is that in any sound, in any audio file, you've got a combination of high frequency sounds and low frequency sounds. Low frequency sounds are your bass, your bass drums, you know, low notes. High frequency sounds are kind of the upper melodies and some of the snares and stuff. What a low pass filter is it filters out everything. It filters out the audio, but not the low sound, not the low frequency. It lets those pass through. Low pass. The effect audibly for what you hear is it sounds like you're hearing the music from like the other side of a wall. It's like the music is still going on, but it sounds muffled. Here, let's do it again. Right? You hear what I mean? Kind of muffled sound. And then when it comes back, it's like somebody opens the door and lets the music in. Who do I main in Mario Kart? I don't feel like I have a main. Aren't the characters mostly the same? I guess or is it the carts that are the same? I don't even remember. It's different between different Mario Karts. I don't know. I guess I use Mario or the Mii, I guess. That's about it. So why is it so good to have a low-pass filter available for our audio handler? Well, exactly. What's going to be good is we can turn on the low-pass filter when the player pauses the game, and then turn it off when they unpause the game. And the effect is actually pretty nice that you keep the music running, so it's like the momentum of the game is still going. Like you can hear the music, but it's like on the other side of the pause menu. There might be some other benefits to using web audio that we haven't thought about yet, but that's really what I'm after. That's what I really want to do. So we need to create an audio context. So we're gonna put that in our constructor. Audio context is a property on our handler because there's gonna be one, I assume. I don't know. Oh, maybe there needs to be one for music and one for sound effects. What did you realize in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Does he? Garlic. I'm sure that's probably intentional. They probably definitely meant it to be that way. I mean, I can only assume. Hello. Thank you. Healthy vitamin C source. All right, Casual, you're a big fan of Wario. What was the first game you played that had Wario in it? Not necessarily as the main character or anything, but just a game that had Wario. Loading sound, okay. So we need to get our sound. That's gonna be this guy right here. Do I need to ID? Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna have to make an ID for each of these, aren't I? Music-shop. That'll work. Alright, so we're gonna try this. Shop music equals document.get element by ID music-shop. We may come up with a better system for naming these at some point. All right. So what do we do next? What do we do next? We pass it into the audio context like this, apparently. Okay. Shop music. We create a media element source. Okay. Surely there's more to it than that. Oh, now it gets tricky. Track.connect to our context. Oh boy, this is gonna be a... Hey, Hudson! What's going on? I'm doing good. So we're working on the audio. I'm learning a lot about web audio. But also, you gotta see what we got here. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of that. There we go. This is Rover in the UI. And not only that, we got a whole lot of stuff going on here that's new. Instead of having the weapon buttons off of the game window, they have now moved into the game window. These can be clicked on, or you can use number keys, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Visually, it shows you how many shots you have, shotgun has 3 in this instance. 1, 2, 3. And every time you click it, you can see that it turns pink versus blue, or I guess periwinkle, to indicate how many shots you have left. A little purple bar fills up as you're reloading to indicate visually that the reload is happening. And I did add that now there actually is a reload time. Previously, as soon as you hit the ground, you would instantly reload your weapon that was selected. But now you actually take some time to do so. It will only reload if the weapon is selected. Changing between weapons will cancel the current reload action. And when you've landed, you reload much faster. As for the portrait, it's actually 2 layers, the background and the actual dog, Rover himself. What that lets me do is I can do screen shake when you land, or when you quickly accelerate or decelerate, or when you get hit. And what you do is you get this little shaking going on. But because they're separate layers, let's see, what is it? Player dot, what did I call it? Shake? Yeah. Because they're separate layers, I can actually move the portrait of the dog to a different location than the background image. Sound shake. And so you get kind of a bit of depth going on. Just a little bit. But it's good enough. Also, the weapon icon turns red when it's out of ammo, purple when it's not fully loaded, and blue when it's completely loaded. Yeah, it's really slick. Oh, you can also sell weapons back now to the store. I don't know from a gameplay perspective if I should allow the player to sell all their weapons. That seems a little bit bad if I let them, but then again, maybe you should be allowed to really screw yourself over like that. And just, your game is over if that happens. Get into the next level, have no guns. Seems like a bad idea, but we'll see. So now we're going to see about how to get this working. Audio context. Audio element. Wait, what? Audio element. Do you have to play the individual audio element? Is that true? Is that right? I guess so. That didn't seem right. But okay. Okay, so shop music dot play. Whatever. And then that should do it, right? Yeah, let's just let that. Let's just try this. All right, let's see if this plays our music. No. Because audio context music is not defined. I mean, it's definitely defined right there. Oh, because you need me to define it as a... Oh, because it needs to be this dot. You know what? Fair enough. All right, now let's try it.
A wise man once told me that New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the best game ever made. I told myself that when looking in a mirror, and boy was he handsome.
There you go. All right, let's try this. Does this work? Failed to execute. Previously connected. Okay, you know what? That's good point. Good point. So something I didn't think about is that we are actually not allowed to do any audio until the user somehow interacts with the game. Like, we have to click on the screen before the browser will let us play any audio. Makes sense. You don't want autoplay on all your websites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it into a test class just for the purposes of being able to click first Okay. Oh no. MIDI element audio source outputs zeros due to CORS access restrictions. I hate this. I hate CORS stuff. Okay. That's going to be annoying. Not, well, Can I get around it if I just use the live files right now? Will that work? Would that be okay? Content, audio / shop music. What is it? Audio / music / shop.mp3. Is that? Okay, I can't access it that way. All right, let's do that for now. This is not a permanent solution, but we're gonna try and use the live file. Nope. Dang it. We're gonna have to do some stuff. Team Shell Discord, they made the website from GitHub because it will say GitHub updates in the Discord. Yeah, so GitHub is, well, it's many things. In the absolute simplest terms, think of it like Google Drive, in that it's something you can put files into and other people can then look at them later, make changes, and put them back. That's the super straightforward, this is what GitHub is. It's a place you can put your code to work on it with a team. It is much more than that, but coming from zero knowledge about what GitHub is, that is the simplest explanation of what it is for and why it is useful. So we're gonna have to run this as a I think we're gonna have to somehow run this as a project in Visual Studio. Can we select Moonrover folder here in Visual Studio? Can I run this? All right, hang on. Visual Studio community run local server, run local file server. Does that work? How do I need to do this? I hate this stuff. This is not the fun stuff. I mean, pretty much I just want to run HTML as local file server. Yeah, do that. Just use the live server extension, install it from VS Code directly, and you will be fine. Okay. Okay. We'll try this. Live server extension in Visual Studio Code. All right, extensions. Launch a development server with live reload feature for static and dynamic pages. Okay, that does sound like what we want. All right, we'll try it. We'll try it. Oh, hey, Pixel. Let's see. What time is it for you? Wait a second. No, you can't fool me. It's like dinner time for you. You can definitely fool me. I'm pretty easy to fool. All right, we're gonna try this. Is that it? Are we ready? Is it working now? Go live. Okay, so we go live. Allow access. Oh, wait. All right, we're up. Did that work? Yes. Okay, this is... All right, whatever. The important thing is we got it working. Okay, we're back. And this time we can actually have the music play. So Pixel, I don't think you've gotten to see this yet. So we now have the entire sidebar set up. The sidebar has a character portrait, our current weapon set, along with ammo indications, for how much ammo we've got. There's there's portrait screen shake for when you get hit. Little red warning lights go off, which is using some cool canvas trickery. Yes, enjoy the doggo. The nice thing is, all right, how do we stop the audio? Is it gonna stop on its own? I guess we'll find out. Okay, yes, the audio stops on its own. All right. No, the doggo is not game queued. Though I did need to include a weapon that would be handy for getting around quickly, and I could think of no better name than the dev exit in honor of game queued. So basically the thing is that it's really hard to get around because I only have 3 shots in a shotgun. Even if I gave myself a second shotgun, which I did, that's still only 6 shots, which isn't great. So I gave myself the dev exit. It's a custom weapon built into the game, using the same format as every other weapon. So here's what the shotgun looks like when you fire it. It's got three little shots that come out. This is what the dev exit does. I hope you're ready for this. It fires 128 shots. Pretty much just coats the screen, and it doesn't really run out of ammo. I mean, it reloads faster than it runs out of ammo. So all I got to do is release the trigger for a split second to completely reload. And surprisingly, my computer handles the number of particles going around quite nicely. Rover is shaking in his pilot's chair there, though. It's getting a little bit crazy in there. So yeah, that's the wall of bullets that is the dev exit. Should be available in the shop after you finish the game. Maybe. All right, so we fixed our audio sourcing issue. Okay, so now, what do we do? What do we do now? Modifying sound. Here we go, modifying sound. Oh boy, here's where things get a little bit crazy. Track.connect. Wait, what's track? Remind me what track is. What did you guys call track? Track. Player pause track. Track.connect. Okay, that's the audio source. Okay, that's the audio element. So shop music, I can connect. I don't like that I have to individually play each audio thing. There will be a way to fix this. There will be a way to make this work better. Doggo has gamer goggles. That's right, he has goggles. I was going for more like, I don't know, science goggles. He's a lab dog. Because he's a lab. I decided he had to be a lab. But I was thinking it would be very easy to make more dog portraits just like that. Very small file size. Very easy to draw those up. And we could have different playable characters. So you could play as a Chihuahua, or a Mastiff, or a Bulldog, or a Pug, or a cat. I don't know. I don't know what the people want. And that all I'd really have to swap out is the artwork. And it's like you've got a whole new player. What's the deal? All right, put on Mario Paint again. Game node. Okay, so now we can have our gain node connected, and I can set the gain node's value. So we could set it to very quiet. The values of node objects are not values. Yeah, I knew that. Okay. Okay, so now when I run test, it should be very quiet. It was not very quiet. It's actually full volume. Why is it full? Oh, because this. Okay, fair enough. Oh, every time I save it reloads. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's gotta be this .audio context. I'm not gonna be used to that. Shopmusic.connect is not a function. Why not? What do you mean it's not a function? Why is it not a function? Oh, track. Make track.connect. Okay. Alright, well that's still very loud. Oh, maybe because play needs to be after all that happens. No? That still seems pretty loud, right? I'm not crazy on that. Yeah, that's still playing at pretty much full volume. A type of cat. Make the cat goose. Oh man. I can't steal everything from GameCube. Yeah. I'm just gonna put GameCube's face in there. I was thinking one of Germdove's dogs could be a fun dog to add if he's interested. That might be good. Yeah. Let everyone kind of be in the game a little bit. Somehow. Oh, it's because, I think it's because of this. Okay, if I take out this line. There it is. That was it. That was the problem. It's very quiet right now. How loud can you set this? Can I set it up? Can I set it above? It does sound loud. Yeah, that was definitely louder. Okay, so I think you can go above 1. Okay, so we're getting there. We have a volume variable. Next up. Okay, panning. We're not gonna do panning. Next up we wanna do, this is finally where we get to add the low pass filter. Oh, okay, how do we do this? No, wait, that's not it. Web audio, low pass filter. I saw it just the other day. It was like super easy code. Here we go, low pass. Okay, can I get an example? Can I please get an example? Yes, here we go. So we need to have our low pass node, which is context.create. Oh boy. Create bi-quad filter. You know, like you do. Okay. And then I say low pass node dot type equals low pass. That might need a hyphen. Hang on. Low shelf. Maybe not. We'll try it without. Playing Ori and the Blind Forest. I have heard that's really fun. I have not gotten around to it yet, though. So many other games I want to play. Bi-quad filter gain. And frequency set. Set value at time now, yeah. I'm gonna set that to now. Value. Sure, 1,000 and what's a good? Dang it! Somebody give me where? I really wish there was a good example here. Wait, something just went purple in my notification thing. Eric the Four. Oh, welcome, Turtle. Turtle and the Turtles. Oh my gosh, you guys. OBS is back and better than ever.
Hey, Turtle.
I've got bitrate at a normal amount. I can actually stream today. All I wound up doing is just unplugging my computer network from the network switch and went straight into the router. Now we're good. Oh, you guys gotta see what we got. You guys gotta check this out. We have a sidebar. We have a sidebar that has character portraits and weapon lists. There's Rover right there. That's him. That's the boy. Get some music going again. And look what happens when he gets hit. Oh no. Unplug. Yeah, it really was. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in? Yeah, Rover's a good boy. Also, in honor of GameCube, I've added my my developer weapon, the dev exit. So if I ever need to really get through a tough level and I don't want to get good, I can instead just take the dev exit out and just obliterate everything in my path. It's a good weapon, yeah. Yeah, this is for you. This is for you, GQ. Although, if I go to sell it, you can see its stats. You'll notice that it does net you minus 25% respect. So it's like, maybe it's worth it, maybe not. I mean, it might come in handy. We're not gonna sell it. We need the dev exit. It makes Mog sad though. Never had any respect. Well then, I mean, 25% of 0 is still 0. There we go. Happy Mog. Get a free jetpack. Alright, so what we're working on. We want to have a low pass filter so that we can have cool pause music. The Mog faces are great. So I don't know if this works, but it looks fine. Okay, so we need to connect. We need to connect our low pass node. Is that enough? Did we do everything we need? That does sound low passy. That sounds very low passy. Can we go more extreme on the low pass? What does this do? Gain? What does a low pass node's gain do? Someone explain that. It's an A-rate audio param, a double representing the gain used in the current filtering algorithm. That does not help me. So I'm gonna leave it at 25 because that's what the example code did. Okay, this is it. We got it. So the idea... Have no respect. No respect. I went a little bit Christopher Walken there, but I guess that can work too. God, no respect. No respect at all. The idea is we're going to turn on the low pass filter whenever we're paused. Because low pass filters are cool. Now, how do we skip the low pass filter? Welcome, a freeze. A frizz? I don't know. Welcome either way. Oh, and then the song ends, and so that's it. We have to refresh because I don't have any looping turned on yet. We're still trying to figure out this low pass filter connection. I like the muffled sound though. That's cool. That's exactly what I want. But how do we make... All right, I'm looking at the... Let's see. Web audio disable filter or disable node? Disable... No. Okay, what if... Oh, I could probably just modify the frequency level to really high. So what if we just make low pass node a property on the class? Then I should be able to do, let's see if this works. It's going to be audio handler dot this, dot this. Okay, so let's try this. Delete that. Oh, we did it. We turned it off, and now we turn it back on. Oh, I think we're getting somewhere. Turn it back off. Back on. Back on. That's it. That's it. Yes, we've got it. So that's what's going to happen when you pause the game, is we're going to turn the low pass filter on or off. So we need to have a function for that. Toggle? No, we want to set low pass. Turn on, true for on, false for off. And all it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, if you want it on 700, off 7,000, because I don't know what appropriate values there are, but 70,000. The idea is that it's going to be such a ridiculously high number that it won't be filtering any audio. Okay, good. Wait, what if we set it to null? Does that do what I want to do? No. Null just filters everything. What about infinity? No. The provided float value is non-finite. I mean, that is true. All right, so we're going to start it at 70,000. So that we've got that. And then we can set low pass true or false. Perfect. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so here's the key. You went skiing today? Like, snow skiing? I don't know what area you're in. Can't really do snow skiing down here. It's a little too, even though it's cold out, it doesn't really get to snow ski weather. Okay, so low pass node is going to be only for the music, not the sound effects. Sound effects will never have low pass on them. So that is a good reason for us to not have... Oh, well, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, won't it? Yeah, you guys get snow. All right, temporarily turn back on our Mario Paint music. Our chill Mario Paint music. Now we still need to make sure that we're interacting with the web page at some point before we actually initialize all this stuff. Chrome sort of protects the user from auto-playing audio by making sure that a web page cannot play audio until you interact with it, like you click on it or something. You focus the window. And so we need to make sure that the user somehow like clicks a start button, but we can't play any music until then. So that is something to consider. I ran into the same issue with the wheel. The wheel was supposed to have like a and then I realized it was never playing because I wasn't actually clicking on the wheel first. So now I have to like click on the wheel once every time we do viewer level nights. All right, so we're gonna have 2 separate nodes for gain, one for music, one for audio, because we want the user to be able to change the volume levels of music and the volume levels of sound effects separately. So those need to be 2 separate nodes. So we're gonna have a gain node music and gain node sound effects. And this is gonna be this dot gain node music. And then we're gonna create another one. And we're gonna start them at 0.5, both of these at half volume. Yeah, that'll work. So we'll have a function for set. Ooh, we probably need a get as well. All right, so let's make sure to include a music volume property, which is gonna start at 5. Now let's actually, yeah, let's store it as 0.5. No, let's store it as integers. It's cleaner that way. Music volume and sound effects volume. This dot. All right, so the idea is that we can go in and we can change these from the pause menu once we get to that point. Let's just have a to-do list here. Volume controls. All right, so we'll have that on our to-do list. Okay, next up. Don't like this. How do we connect? All right, web audio, swap source. So how do we swap the source? So this is a media element source. So how do we, but how do we swap this? I want to change, basically I want to change it to a different one. Negative 18 Celsius. That's pretty chilly. All right, pop quiz chat. What is particularly interesting about negative 40 degrees? There's an interesting property that happens at negative 40 degrees. Let's see who knows this one. Negative 40 is 1 lower than negative 39. Although true, I would argue there's something more interesting going on with negative 40. Let's see. Create media element source. So what does this do? This generates a what? Generates a media element audio source node. Too lower than negative 38. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Negative 40 is interesting because you don't have to tell anyone whether you're talking about Fahrenheit or Celsius, because it's actually the same. That's where the two lines intersect, is at -40, because they're both linear measurements. So there's going to, and they're not parallel. Celsius and Kelvin are parallel, so they never overlap. But since Fahrenheit goes at a different slope of sorts, you can find an intersection point. Your skin freezes. Also that. Okay. Change source. Can I change source? Doesn't look like it. Do I really have to create... It seems really weird that I would have to create a new, like a separate media element source object for every single song, but maybe that's not out of the question weird. How can I switch? How can I... No, nothing. No, I think I do need to have a separate source for each of these. Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin are all different at 0. That is true. Celsius is water freezing. Fahrenheit is, wow, it's really cold, and also water is frozen. And Kelvin is everything stopped. There is no motion. Okay, so I think what we might need then... We'll need something that can load all the audio files that are in here. I still don't like that I have to have a separate ID for that. That seems like an awful lot to manage, but I guess not really. Because I don't want to box myself into using each of these. Like, what if I want to change the names? Why would I ever want to change the names? Well, let's just to be safe, we're gonna have that extra layer of abstraction between the ID and the file name. Music, level 1. Oops, I swapped those, whatever. All right, so now we got 3 audio files here. So I'm gonna have a load audio files function. And what this is gonna do, it's pretty much just gonna look for every audio file that's loaded on the page. Maybe that's going to be not a good idea later, but for now I think that's okay, because we're going to have very few to start with. As the project grows, as we get more files going, then we can kind of expand that out and be a little bit more careful. So right now we're just going to document get element by tag name. Just get all the audio elements. There we go, that's them. And now we need to create these media element sources. This part I'm less familiar with. So let's see. So basically, for every one of these, we want to create an element source, and we want to have it in some kind of object we can access. So let's have our audio library object here as object or list. Let's go with object. All right, for audio file in our list of audio files, for every one of those, audio library sub. All right, so we're gonna have a key in the form of the audio file's ID. So this is going to be something like music-shop or music-level-1. That's going to be our key that we can later access this by. We're going to store it by that ID, and then later when we need to retrieve it, that's the ID we're going to use to pull. So we're going to use that, and we're going to say, hey, create a media element source from that audio file. Boom, just like that. And so now we should be able to get rid of this stuff. Sister boyfriend just waltzed in here and gave you another monitor for free. I mean, you gotta be careful. If you always take free monitors, you're gonna wind up with a closet full of monitors like me. And they're all slightly too small to do anything with at this point. It's like we've got all these big monitors that we actually use, and then all of the hand-me-down monitors that we were like, yeah, we might want another monitor someday. We might need that. And now I've got all of these like 15-inch monitors in my closet. So now we should be able to say this.audio library sub music level 1. So let's try this. Disable our background music. All right, here we go. Test. No, shop music is not defined. Whoops. Yes, because I'm doing this. Ooh, that's something. That's something. I still don't like that I have to actually play the audio. But I get it, Okay, so we're gonna have to actually... Alright, fine. Ooh, how do we determine... Okay, here's something. How do we determine music versus sound effects? We should probably have different containers, I guess. We can put all of our music files in one and all of our sound effects in another. Sound effects / Mog Happy. You guys didn't know we had Mog Happy audio now. Everything is something, something is everything, and this is nothing. Yeah, you got it. You got it figured out. All right. So that's still an audio file, but we need to know if it is a sound effect or music. So one thing we can do is just base that on what it's contained in. Is it contained in the music section of our markup or in the sound effects section? We can also look at the file path, but that sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, let's be honest, it's a terrible idea either way, but at least it's going to be more consistent. So I would like to be able to have each audio file. All right, audio library. Do I need to divide that up? I could have a flag for is sound effect versus is music. And this object here could be some kind of, let's see here. What's temperature in Australia? 180 degrees. Wow, Pixel. That's pretty good. Geez, blowing me up now. All right. Let's see here. Because we also want to play the music, but only at the appropriate time. Is there anything else that we might need to do? Do I need to track if a file is... I mean, I definitely need to track if a file is playing. All right, let's make this an object. I'm convinced that we need to make this an object. Media element source. So we'll call that the node object. even though it's actually a media element source object, but node is shorter. Source element, that's going to be the audio file itself. And there might be other things that we need on this, but for now that's enough. We want to connect all of these. Can we connect multiple files to the same thing? Like, I don't even know if we can. All right, first let's get this working. Cool. All right, that works. But can I connect a second node to this and it still work? Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's just connect them all. Let's connect them all to our nodes. So this is still going to be part of our initialization section. So for let, oh yeah, that's what I needed, is I need to set whether this is music or sound effect. Let is music equals audio file dot parent element dot id equals what did I call it? Did I call it music or sound effects? Or music or audio or what? Music. Music versus sound effects. And then is SFX is SFX. Just like that. Is music is music. Is SFX is SFX. There's a lot of kappas floating around. I'm a little intimidated, honestly. Okay, so now we can go for let music for each of our music objects in this dot audio library. Let's just do this for each audio object, and then we'll connect it based on if audio object is music, then do one thing, else if audio object dot is SFX, do another thing. Let's do it like that. All right, so if it's music, then do that. If it's sound effects, do something very similar, except don't use the gain node music, use the gain node SFX, and do not connect the low pass node. That is only for the music. Now you have two monitors, you can do homework and procrastinate at the same time. Let's be honest, Pixel. Now you can procrastinate twice as fast. Okay, so now we can set background music. And we're gonna base that on a key, I think. Because we fixed the network issues, GermDov. Actually, how slow? Like if I turned on, you can manage slow mode, right? Like actually change the allowed frequency, or can you? Let's see. Yeah, you can change it. I wonder. What could I set that on where you guys wouldn't even notice? Like if I set it to like 3 seconds. 1,000 bits per second. I've got a staggering 2,600. That's still not great. That's still worse than it was, I feel. But because I'm not saving a ton of logs, I can't tell for sure. At least it's green. OBS is green again, and that's good enough for me. Stupidest thing. Working fine last week, but this week just everything's exploded. Oh yeah, Dove, you gotta see. We've got character art now. We got a nice lab here for Rover. And it strikes me that we could have multiple dogs available to choose from. And I know you've got a big selection of dogs. If you would be interested in having one of your dogs as a playable character, I could do some tracing to stylize things a bit. Set background music based on key. Oh no. Stop all other music. Why no cat? I mean, maybe a cat too. I mean, we've already got... Everybody's getting a little bit of representation in the game, you know? Because GameCube's got Mother of Goose's fantastic executor face. The best drawing of all time. That's the one. Let's go. And now GameCube is kind of honored by us having the weapon, the dev exit, available. At least for now. Yeah, Mog.
If there's gonna be a cat, you should do one of Dave's cats.
Oh yeah, Day's got some cats. Yeah, you gotta see the stats on the dev exit, Germ Dove. Look at this thing. It's insane. Hardly any drawbacks. Except for a notable respect reduction. All right. What were we doing? Background music. So we want to stop all music, I think. A smidge higher. You know, you might be right. Let's just make that a nice 35. See, I did add a weapon upgrade type of flavor, where I basically just give it a string of text and a I guess should this be a positive, negative, or neutral attribute. And I think TF2 weapon setups do the same, because there's some things in the weapon schema that are in the block of stats, but they're just raw text. So they've got to have some way of doing it as well. And I think that's what they do. All right, so we're gonna say, again, for every audio object, but only the music, audio object dot source dot stop, I think. Audio element. What all can I do? What else can I do with an audio element? I can do dot play, pause, loop. Oh, we need to turn loop on all these. We definitely need to turn loop on for all of these. Audio object dot source dot loop equals true. I think that's good enough right there. I'm not 100% sure. Preload. We'll deal with that later. How do I like restart? Nope. Current time. No. Loop, mute, preload, source, events. I'm not looking for an event. Looking for setting. I want to set. Oh wait, setting current time sets the current playback to the given time. Okay, so perfect. So when we stop the music, we will also set current time to 0. And then, after we've done all of that, we will look up BGM. We will look up from our audio library our key. We'll find our key. Then we do bgm.source.play. And that should be it, I think. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we're gonna do our test. Audio library is not iterable. Isn't it? Wait, isn't it? Oh, it's not. Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I need to do key in and then let audio object equal that sub key. All right, you got me there. You got me there, JavaScript. I give it to you. All right, is that better? Is that what we're looking for? Okay. Value will be clamped. Oh, 24,000. 24,000. Thank you. That's our max value. I'm down with that. Okay. So now I should be able to do audio handler dot set background music and give it a key. All right. Pause our play music, our fun music. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this to music-shop. No, stop is not a function. Well, what are the functions? Audio element methods. Give me the methods list. Like, what can I do with that? Play and pause. That's it. Well, okay. Then I guess pause is what I was looking for. All right, here we go again. Test to load everything. All right, playing music shop. And now, when I change to music level -1, the current audio should stop, and it should start level 1 music. Okay. And now I should be able to set background music to shop again, and it kicks off from the beginning. We did it. We did it. We're on the right track, guys. We have the ability to set background music. Sound effects though. Sound effects though. This is gonna be a lot more involved because there's different types of ways we can play sound effects. Oh, also we need to see if this loops. It'll get there. So here's different ways we can play a sound effect. It's all based on whether or not the sound effect is already playing. So some sound effects, we want them to play. When I say, hey, play the sound effect, if the sound effect is already playing, it is looping. That works. Do I want the sound effect to restart? Or do I want the sound effect to overlap? I don't know if that's possible. That might be tricky. It'll probably always be restart. You know what? Let's just do that for now. Let's just do that for now. We're just gonna do get the audio object, set its current time to 0, and then play it. And that's it. That's it. All right, so start our test. And now we're going to do play sound. And the sound we want to play is sound effect Mog Happy. Okay, it restarts. That was easy. So very happy. Do we just start plugging in our music and sound effects now? Is there what do I lack here? We still need to do volume controls. Oh, low pass still needs to be set up. Where's our pause handler? Enter pause menu. Exit pause menu. Okay, so exit pause menu happens only here. Works for me. Set low pass. So audio handler dot set low pass true, and then audio handler set low pass false. Okay, guys, let's see if this works. Set background music. Let's do level 1. Okay, so we're in our level. Zoom out a bit. We're just going around with the dev exit, and then we pause the game. Okay, now we unpause the game. That's a good effect. That works surprisingly well. Oh, by the way, I did add, let me zoom back in. Yeah, wow, pause menu. I did add debug mode, which adds like the time it's taking for each thing to run, but it also adds the lovely, and everyone loves this, the hitboxes and velocity info. Everybody's a big fan of that, all right? Everybody loves those. So now you can actually turn that on through the pause menu instead of having to set it up with something else. Then it gives me this information like, hey, how long is it taking to run the update function for every sprite? How long is it taking to draw everything? How long is it taking to do the sidebar UI? So it's handy info to have. We did it. We made Can you demo dash? That is the trick. We'll have to figure that out. Oh, did you hear that? There's a little bit of a stutter there when it loops. That might just be something in the source file that I have to edit. Okay, low pass filter is working. Volume controls, I'll add that to the pause menu at some point. I'm not too worried about that right now. We have a lot of sound effects to load in though. Like a lot of them. All right, let me break out the files. Let's see here. Moonrover dev, shortcut, content, audio, sound effects. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. If I copy this into like Notepad, will it copy the file names? No, it will not. Could I do... Isn't there some way to do that with command line? Change directory to this directory. Okay, hang on. Change directory. Documents slash GitHub slash Dobbsworks slash game slash Moonrover slash content slash audio slash sound effects. All right, and then do, it's not, oh, it's directory. I knew that. Now, can I copy this information? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to silence my phone. A bit of a long-winded speech about mathematics education philosophies through SMS. Alright, that's our list of files. Okay, so I've got my list of files here. All right, guys, check this out. I've got a bunch of files. I don't want to copy and paste each one of these into its own line. So instead, we're gonna make more problems for ourselves and do regular expressions. Yay! So regular expressions. It's kind of a way of finding. What is regular expressions? What do I want to look for here? I want to look for. Let's make this easy. I want to delete every instance of space PM. And now I want to delete everything that comes before an alphanumeric character. All right, who remembers how in the world you'd search for an alphanumeric character? Well, I guess you could do bracket A-Z. Yeah, that works. Preceded by a space. There we go. Replace with. Ugh. Dang it. I know this one. Captures. It's something about regular expression captures, right? Chad is more likely to remember. I'm just thinking aloud. Capture groups. How do I do a capture group? Notepad, regex, replace group. So is it just /1? That is it. Was that it? Yes, okay. No. /2? No, I'm still losing the M. I don't remember how to do the replacement. Apparently this is it. Like, what if I put it in this? Oh, there we go. Now you gotta put it in. Yeah, you gotta put it in the. Okay. Does this work? Okay, that's it. It's very powerful, but very hard to remember regular expressions. So what I'm telling the computer to do here is I'm telling it for every line, search for a space followed by a character. No, wait, better yet, find any number of things star dot? No, dot star. Is it dot star? Dot star? There we go. Find any number of characters followed by a space followed by a character that's somewhere between A and Z. Replace that with just the character that you found. Go. There we go. Ugh. Obviously, I could have done it by hand much faster, but that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, now I want to put it in this format here. To do that, we're going to do the same thing of saying Windows error noises. So nice. We're going to say find some stuff followed by .mp3. No, not star dot. It's .star. There we go. Find that. Replace it with slash audio ID equals, then the thing, src equals all this, where this is /1. Let's try it. I think that worked. So now I should be able to just plop this in. There it is. That's all the things we wanted. I stopped the beat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Here, I'll make it up to you by turning on Mario Paint again. Okay, so we've got all these audio files in here now that we can actually use. So we have a unpause. Do I have a pause? Oh, I do. I do have a pause. So I should be able to start adding this to things. So pause handler. I can say audio handler dot. What's our function? It's play sound. Play sound. Pause. And audio handler. Play sound. Unpause. Like that. It should be as simple as that. It's not, because you can't read the frequency of undefined at set low pass handler. What? Oh, because I didn't actually start the audio stuff. There we go. Hey. I'm sorry, Pixel. I'll make it up to you somehow. All right. Shop needs a lot of things. Shop handler has lots of sounds that I want to use. Where's my shop code? Here we go, shop code. Let's see, where are my shop sounds? We've got Mog intro, the pause menu. Pixel! That's actually a really fun idea. Dang it, Pixel. Done. Jerk, that's a good idea. I'll never forgive you for having good ideas. Oh. It's there now. You can't undo it. You like that? A little toot-toot-toot? I like it. Pixel. Unbelievable. You did it. You did the thing. All right. We're gonna have Mog intro. Good at making games. That's right, you are. Let no one tell you otherwise. There's a Mog. I've got Mog happy, Mog sad, and Mog sounds. So, when we create our confirmation selection, when we're saying, are you sure about this? That's when we're gonna play Mog When you purchase, oh, you will be there, Pixel. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. A lot of you guys are gonna be in the credits for this. Let's see here. Get buy button. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Mog happy plays here. When you cancel a confirmation, that's when we'll be sad. Oh wait, that's where we should put the Mog happy. Right here. Get rid of this one. Yeah, let's rethink that. Let's rethink that one. Also, we want to have the background music getting set when you enter the shop. If background music, if audio object. Gotta do our null handling here. We're gonna set the background music when you, not when you first enter the shop, but like after the little logo comes up, which is initialize buttons. Wait, what's my intro timer start at -1? Okay, so we want to say -1. Audio handler dot set background music gets set to shop right here as soon as you enter the shop, or shortly after entering the shop. Level, load zone. Yeah, we'll figure out level music soonish. All right, let's start up our thing here, and let's hightail it. We're gonna hightail it to the shop here using the dev exit. Get over there quick. All right, here we go. Don't touch anything. Dang it, we have nothing. Why don't we have any audio? Where's our audio? Well, some of it's there. So where's our background music? Did I not actually get that? Set background music. Is that the wrong? Oh, it's music hyphen shop. All right, well, that's one problem right there. That would do it. That is better. Aren't they? I gotta fix the levels here. You can't really hear the audio as well over the music. Music's a little loud. Yeah, we'll work on that. I didn't hear Mog intro. Why is it playing on loop? Why did it play 4 times? You too, Hudson. Why does it play 4 times there? What? Alright, hang on. Did I just... When I made that audio, did I just do it that way? Is that just what I did? I mean, I could have. I could have set it to do 4 loops. Alright, open... Let me move that out of the way so you guys can look at something a little bit prettier. Music, sound effects, Mog intro. I literally did just export it that many times. Nice. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Why not? All right. Let's put that back in here. Okay. Now then. Okay, now it only plays once. Thank goodness. So many collectibles in Ori, you can't decide if you want to explore or continue the story. Ooh, that is always rough, isn't it? Okay, so let's set background music to music level 1 and see if it properly changes when we get to the shop. Oh, I need to silence it. Music didn't change to shop music. Huh. Okay, hang on. Shop handler, intro timer, stops at 200. Interesting. What am I doing with that? What does that timer represent? Okay. Alright, the intro thing is going to be a bit rough, but this doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, sounds good. Enter shop. Well, that time it worked. Why did that work? Oh! Initialize buttons gets... Yeah, alright. There's another entry point here, which is this way. Okay. Okay, that's why. So the first time that you enter... Okay. Yeah, the first time you enter, I don't want to start the music until after the intro sound plays, which is right here. That was quick. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Log intro. Welcome back, Casual. Less than or equal to 0, and this .mog intro timer is greater than or equal to negative, let's say -6. This is a little bit shaky, but it should still at least work. All right, so we're gonna set our background music to level 1 music. I'm gonna get to the exit. Let's go ahead and turn off the music now, like that. Then I get in here, there'll be something going on. There we go. I want to time that a little bit better, but it's getting there. I don't know exactly how that's going to be eventually. New Soup Forest. Okay. Bloopers and Spinies. I don't know about the bloopers. But But I get you. That could be something. All right, when you first enter the shop, we're always going to just turn off your music. And then background music. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, what if your music is already the same thing? Like, would I ever want to set the background music to the current song that's already playing? Stack the spinies on bloopers. Maybe. So I still need a better way to initialize this, because I don't think I can do it from just like this whole block here is the initialization. So where can I put that? Like, is this good enough? Maybe? Yeah, see, the audio context was not allowed to start. It must be resumed after a user gesture. So, mouse handler. Like, what's a user gesture? What's a user gesture? Like, that didn't count. That wasn't. There we go. That was good enough. Like, I don't think mouse over is enough, but I'm not sure. Let's try this. Let's tell it, hey, shortly after, let's say 1 second after the page loads, we'll initialize the sound. I want you to initialize the sound and then also set the background music. Music level 1. That's what I want you to do 1 second after. Okay, yellow is bad. Mouse over, not good enough. Click is good enough. So, what's a way to do that? Brother is making levels 2, and he asked you to upload them onto your profile. You gonna do it? Take him under your wing. Show him all the great ways you can make levels. I gotta say, I feel like your Casual Castle series was your absolute best stuff. It was really good. Just really nice. Not super short, but not... It was shorter than the average level, but it had enough. It had enough stuff. All right, we're gonna get rid of this. Then we are going to... We are going to keep the initialization function, but the initialization function is actually just going to kind of keep trying to initialize. Bring him your wisdom. I love it. So good. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna initialize. We need some way of checking to see. Hang on. How do I can I watch for a user gesture? Watch for user gesture. That is a PogChamp, all right. Yeah, so I think what we'll do is I'll basically just set something up that just checks to see, like, hey, have we received a mouse click ever? And then until that point, this initialization will be just kind of frozen. And so no audio will play. We'll still try and set background music. That'll be pretty much it. All right. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we met today's goal, which was to get a audio handler in place. It's not complete. Link's Lament. Vaguely. Ah, gotcha. We got Rover up here, looking suave, debonair. I'm going to continue to work on the audio handler stuff off stream. I don't know what we're going to work on next week, but I'll come up with something. I'm going to go ahead and call it today because I feel like we reached a really good milestone. And at this point, it's basically just me kind of swirling around, cleaning things up, which is pretty boring stuff. And I did notice that Inu started streaming just recently. So I feel like we could go hang out with him for the rest of the afternoon. And I'll just kind of work on this in the meantime. At least we got streaming working again. Much better than yesterday. Also, I need to add more minigame things before Wednesday. I want to add some more categories. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. I feel like we're really making progress on this. It's really coming along now. And also, Pixel, thank you for the idea on the pause menu. Paused. Classic. I'll come up with a better font at some point. Mario Maker. I know you're not a fan. No robbing allowed. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good rest of the weekend.